Hey everyone, I've just had the great fortune to bump into a buddy of mine, Alex, and he's agreed to do this Facebook Live kind of impromptu and also to kind of contribute to my podcast where I'm going to be sharing stories of how people have healed themselves completely naturally, where Western medicine just hasn't given them or hasn't served them at all. So Alex has had quite a journey with fibromyalgia and also candida, which led to it. And he's just had phenomenal results. He's got to about 90%, 95%, would you say, healed now through kind of the natural way?
Pretty much a holistic approach to basically healing fibromyalgia and candida. So it kind of things that Western medicine or doctors just really had no information about, and I couldn't get any help for years and years and years.
Wow. And you've suffered from this for about 2 years or so?
Yeah, no, it's actually been longer. It started about 2011, somewhere around there. And what happened was I went to a number of different Western medicine doctors, and each one gave me the wrong information, and it actually made it worse at some point. And so I just took it upon myself to really learn about it and find out what fibromyalgia was. I didn't even know that term existed when I first started out.
Did you know how to spell it?
No. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know how to spell it. You know, it's just when you start doing research, you're like, I've got muscle pains, and actually what they were confusing is that the doctors were thinking that it was about my joints and cartilage and everything else, and it had nothing to do with it. I'd say I have pain here, and they say, well, your bones and your cartilage and everything's fine, and we don't understand why you have pain. And I'm like, well, I'm not making it up.
Yeah, right. That's amazing.
And so they did everything that bone doctors do, which was everything they weren't supposed to do, because it was a muscle issue, not a bone issue. And it wasn't even a muscle-related issue. It was related to a fungus called candida that sometimes exists in our body happily with the bacteria, but if it gets out of control, it actually releases about 70 different toxins into your system.
This is crazy. So Candida releases about 70 different toxins into your system. And it's often caused by excess sugar, isn't it?
One of the biggest causes of it is excess sugar, is having too much sugar. Generally, refined sugar is what really kicks it off, because if you eat fruits and things like that, there's enzymes that help you process those sugars. But refined white sugar, alcohol, stress, combination of poor sleep, and all these kind of stressful factors in your environment accelerate the possibility of that happening. And from the study that I've done over the past, studying for the past 4 or 5 years, basically, it seems like about 80% of the population has, to some degree or another, has it.
Because of so much sugar in their diet.
Stress, sugar, lifestyles, things like that. Different bodies cope with it better. Mine didn't cope with it at all.
Wow. Yeah, right.
And then it caused, basically, the toxins were damaging the nerve endings between the muscle and the bone. And that's what the pain was.
My goodness. Okay.
So that's where the fibromyalgia starts, because then what happens is that your muscles start firing consistently, and they don't rest, and then you start getting knots inside of your muscle. And that's really what the fibromyalgia is. It is all these knots within your muscular system that you can't release because the body's just trying to overcompensate for what's happening.
And I think a really good point to make right now is how much your diet triggered that.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of us won't, a lot of kind of conventional treatment will go straight to the pain and go, right, what's causing this pain? Think it's a mechanical problem rather than what you're putting inside your body is creating that reaction.
And that's what it was. It was cause and effect. Right? The cause was the sugar triggered, or the diet or whatever triggered the candida. The candida then released the toxins then caused the muscle. Yeah. So the cause was way before any of these other things that were in your body were triggered.
Wow.
And it was all basically dietary. I believe so now. I mean, I don't have, there's no real way to prove it, but chances are that's the cause, because that's generally the biggest cause of what this is.
Yeah. So what would you say was your, what kind of cleanse did you go on? I imagine you went on some kind of dietary cleanse and to get rid of the candida.
Well, it was a little bit of a journey, right? You start with some basic research and you kind of build it. Eventually, you get to a point where to give you the short version of the journey, right? So, is basically your diet has to change. I basically eliminated sugar from my diet completely, except for very natural things and very limited at that point while I was actually going through the cleanse.
So would you have, say, fruit whole?
No.
No.
At first, no.
Okay.
For the first couple of months, I actually did it. It was the problem that I had is it was so pervasive in my system. It actually got out of my intestinal walls in my body. So that's
Wow.
the problem. So I actually had to take several different supplements and pills to actually get it out of my system and get it under control.
Okay.
And then now I eat fruit every single day,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
and you need the enzymes. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
heal without the enzymes. So that's the other effect. So I was eating a lot of greens, a lot of things with low sugar. I was keeping my diet very lean. Stay away from alcohol. A lot of sleep. A lot of water because you got to get the toxins out. Your body has to flush out the toxins.
Yep. Good quality water? Was it
yeah.
premium water?
Premium
Not,
water.
Not tap water?
Not tap water. I haven't drank tap
Yeah.
water in 3 years probably.
Wow.
Something like that.
There's been some shocking studies about what's found in our tap water. Really, really quite nasty. But it's, yeah. Okay. So what about...
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
No, yeah, exactly. I was about to open that up.
Yeah, no. I was like, no.
Cut. Yeah. What about... So you talked about elimination of sugar.
Yeah.
Does that include your high glycemic carbohydrates? Like wheat and potatoes and rice?
Well, that leads to something else. So many moons ago, I went to, this was like 10 years ago.
Is this related?
A little bit related because you're talking about carbs, right? But I'm going really short with it. I cut out dairy like 10 years ago. 15
I thought you
years
might
ago.
just be telling me a story.
No,
about
15
something
years.
that happened
No.
along the way.
15 years ago because I had really bad allergies. So
Okay.
I'll make it really quick. Went to a Western medicine doctor. He said, take a pill. Went to an Eastern medicine doctor. He goes, get rid of the dairy. My allergies were gone.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
That, like 1
Wow.
month later, no more allergies.
Done.
It was dairy that was causing the entire problem.
That's insane.
Yeah. Guess what
That's
they used to
insane.
give me when I had allergies when I was a little kid? A nice warm
bread and...
warm milk.
Yeah. That's what
This'll
I
make
used
you
to...
feel better.
Exactly. It's like how they give cancer patients all this sugar. Go and
Yeah,
feed your cancer.
Exactly.
Have some candy and feed your cancer. Off you go. So,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So how long did you do that kind of cleanse for?
Well, the problem is I didn't have, since there's no guides out there and there's nothing, and the information is so sporadic, I really had to figure it out on my own. And it took me over a year and a half to get it under control. Because I thought I was doing it right, then I wasn't doing it right. Thought I was doing it right, then it would come back. Thought I was doing, thought I was doing it right, come back again. And so my body never really recovered. So I went through these very kind of on-off cycles. And finally one day I just said, okay, I need to take everything that I've learned and condense it and just stick to it for 6 months and see what happens.
Okay.
And then that's when it kind of like, I finally got it out of my system.
Okay.
And
Wow.
so,
Wow.
but the effect is that, like I think you said at the beginning, is like I'm 95% cured of something called fibromyalgia, which in the medical society as well, they tell you it cannot be cured. That once you have it, that's it.
They tell you categorically it can't be healed.
It can't be healed.
Wow. And do you understand fibromyalgia as an inflammatory disease or an autoimmune disease?
It's an autoimmune disease, basically, is what it is.
Yeah.
But obviously it causes inflammation as well.
Yeah.
Because your muscles are constantly firing against your nerve endings, right?
Yeah.
Your nerve endings, and that's where the blood flow basically starts to flow. So you start creating inflammation all around those endings, and then the blood can't flow properly.
Right.
So then it starts impacting your joints. You get arthritis, you get cartilage degradation, you get ligament degradation. So all these things begin to happen.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
So jumping ahead, I guess.
Yeah.
Last year was it that you started using this machine?
Which one?
The Beamer machine.
Oh, the Beamer. Yeah, the Beamer machine.
So before you started using the Beamer, by the way, I'm not trying to promote Beamer here. I'm just trying to say what's possible when you find the right stuff. And it's had a phenomenal effect, hasn't it? But before you started using it, how more advanced? Sorry, how much healing had been done? Do you think? What kind of percentage before you started using the Beamer machine?
I think I was probably about 70% of the way there. So
mostly through diet and clean water.
yeah, and some exercise.
and exercise. Yeah.
It's hard to exercise when you're in it when you have a lot
You can't
of
move.
you can't move very well, right?
Yeah.
So that was an issue that
Slight hindrance.
yeah, slight hindrance. You want to go out and run, but you can't.
But I can't move.
I can't move very well, right? So
Yeah.
so the Beamer, to give you everybody who's listening in, so to give you an idea what the Beamer does, so there's something called a microcirculation, which covers about 75% of the blood vessels in our body. Some of those micro vessels basically become dormant over time. What the Beamer does is has a very specific frequency, the same frequency that the body uses, to reactivate those microcapillaries. So all those dormant areas in your body where you have blood that's not flowing, it accelerates that blood, it wakes up those regions of your body and gets the blood flowing away.
Genius.
So it takes the toxins out of those regions that have toxins embedded in them.
Wow.
And that reinvigorates your entire body, basically. The proof is, one, mobility, obviously, right? It increases my mobility. But my hair grows faster, my nails, I've cut my nails every other week now.
Do you think if I started using it, my hair would grow?
Well, I don't know if it's going to grow where it's not there, but it will definitely grow faster where it is there.
I've chosen to cut it short. It's all there.
Yeah, it will grow faster. I mean, you'll notice it. I mean, it actually gets annoying sometimes. I'm like, darn it, again?
So I've just realised Dan's on this, who you met. I saw this presentation done by this Beamer guy.
All right.
And he showed this video on YouTube about how the capillaries just widened and the blood flow just increased.
Yeah.
Really started pushing the blood right through the capillaries and veins.
Yeah.
It was just phenomenal after like 4 minutes or something.
Yeah, a few minutes.
Yeah.
The capillaries just started, they woke up.
So I remember seeing you 5 weeks after you started using this, and you said you were like heaps better. I think you said like 90% or something.
Yeah.
Like huge improvement.
Yeah.
By just increasing the blood flow. So from a kind of high altitude perspective on us, we need oxygen, we need blood, we need nutrients in our blood.
Yeah.
If we're not getting enough oxygen in our lungs, our blood's going to be starved of nutrients. If we're not getting the right nutrients to our blood, the blood's going to be starved of nutrients.
Yeah.
And if our blood's not going around our body, we're going to be starved of nutrients.
Yeah.
And that's like the healing mechanism for our entire human physicality, isn't it?
Pretty much.
So this Beamer, together with nutrients and high quality water,
Yeah.
essentially has kind of had a phenomenal effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
pretty much. I mean, if you're not putting any toxins, I mean, the other thing that tap water does, I mean, like, we could go down the margin. The biggest thing is the chlorine. It kills the bacteria in your stomach.
yeah, let alone the fluoride.
Yeah, the fluoride and the fluoride's a whole. There's a whole other
chapter.
that's a whole other chapter in getting
Yeah.
into those things. But so yeah, I mean, the next step is really, I mean, if the thing about Candida and getting these things is that it's an easy test. You spit in a glass and you can tell what it is.
Wow.
You don't even have to go to a medical office, and you can buy the stuff off the shelf to actually to get rid of it. Even if you have a minor amount of it, especially if you have a minor amount of it, it's good to get rid of it because it causes one, inflammation, autoimmune diseases.
Yeah.
It impacts your entire digestive system. That's where it starts. So if you have bowel problems, it impacts that immediately.
Your bowels are low, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, well, thanks.
You're welcome.
Look at the screen. Look at the screen. If I go like this, nobody can see what I'm doing.
Your bowel
The
problem?
bowel, yeah, exactly. So, but it basically, I mean, the list is gigantic. I'll pass you the list. You can browse it.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, we could be here all day. It's taking the impact. But one of the other things is fatigue and lack of energy.
So yeah, it can trigger chronic fatigue.
Chronic fatigue,
Yeah.
and that's one of the biggest things. And I remember looking back when I was going through the process, like, oh my gosh, I remember just being exhausted all the time, and I had no idea why. And nothing I would take, no supplements, no this, no that, no Red Bull, which was great, right? Drink some Red Bull because it has a bunch of sugar in it, so that was really helping me
With
out.
some warm milk,
It was some warm milk.
which is designed for baby cows. to
Right,
grow
exactly,
fast.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, warm milk and Red Bull, and that was
What
that
a great
was-
concoction.
yeah. But anyways, it was just I remember just being completely exhausted all the time. I had no idea why.
Yeah.
And you don't get a restful night's sleep. So I mean, anyway, it goes on and on. We could be here all day, but
Right.
but
Wow. So now,
Yeah.
what would you recommend? Like, you've done a lot of research into this. It's been your own journey, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You've really thoroughly researched this and kind of, you said no to Western medicine pretty much early on, didn't you?
I didn't have a choice.
You
It's not like I said no to it. I was misdiagnosed for years and years and years. I had no
Yeah.
other option.
Yeah.
It was basically, I was getting to the point where it's actually going to really damage my entire system to a point where I don't know, if I didn't catch it, I don't know if I could have recovered well.
Yeah.
From it, so.
I spoke with someone about a week ago who, or a few weeks ago, who had ulcerative colitis. She'd been given all these different medicines for 20 years. Now she's had a lower intestine removed, and now she's been put on this ridiculous diet of like wheat and sugar and bagels and anything stodgy. This is what the dietitians in hospitals in England are recommending her. And this is happening. This is happening, people. And I felt so bad for her because that can be completely reversed through looking after your body, what you're putting in it.
Yeah.
And what do you have like 3 top sources that you can recommend people with fibromyalgia, like books? I don't mean sources for you.
Yeah, I mean,
Nanos?
off the top of my head, I don't. But what I can do is pass them on so you can post them, so you can
Okay.
pick them up afterwards. Because I don't want to give misinformation out. I
Yeah.
want to make sure that whatever we give is the best information we have available,
Okay.
and I can pass on any notes and knowledge that I've gained over time.
Okay. So if you could ever think about 3 books, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So
one piece of advice you'd give to anyone with fibromyalgia.
Wow. No sugar, no alcohol.
Damn.
That's 2, but no sugar, no alcohol.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're
How-
not. Or you're not. You're not gonna.
I'm saying damn about the alcohol part.
Yeah.
I can,
I know.
I can handle the no sugar part.
Yeah.
So what about now? Do you drink any alcohol now?
Very little. Only on like special occasion things like that.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Like mornings?
Yeah. Usually, I wake up with a shot of tequila. Usually,
Yeah,
that's my
special
thing.
occasion
Yeah,
on
it's a
the
special
night.
occasion. Oh wow, it's Monday.
Sun is-
Monday, and we'll start with.
Sun is shining. Time for some wine. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be forever, though, does it? You were saying earlier before we started, you can just have to you can reset your system, and after you've reset your system, then you can start to reintroduce some of these things.
Yeah,
Although,
exactly.
I guess
I mean,
you're not going to play
could,
with
but
fire.
no. The problem is I don't want to. I feel so fantastic. I was feeling so bad for such a long
Yeah.
time and struggling with it that it's almost you don't want to feel that way anymore. You know, I mean, if you drink alcohol, your body recovery time is a minimum of 3 days because it throws off your entire insulin, right? So you
Yeah,
don't really
wow.
recover for 3 days. Most people don't recover for 5 days. So they get into the vicious cycle of drinking week after week after week, and insulin never goes up. And then, anyways, another
You're never
conversation.
balanced.
You never balance. That's another whole other conversation. But so when you feel great, you really just don't want to do anything that doesn't feel great.
Sure.
Anything less just is less, right? So,
And that's, I guess, when you start really focusing on kind of long-term health rather than your instant gratification of alcohol.
pretty much, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, I feel fantastic. So it's as much as I want to, get have a drink every once in a while. I just really refrain from it as much as I can.
Yeah.
Do it only on special occasions. I'll go to parties. I mean, I don't sit in the corner. I mean, I'll have wine and things like that. But I'm really the biggest thing is actually I'm staying away from hard liquor. That's
Hard
pretty
liquor,
much that's
okay.
pretty much out
Yeah.
for me.
Awesome. And there was one thing that you mentioned to me last week at
Yeah.
Metal. You said you've discovered this new way of starting your day. Do you want to say what that is?
So yeah,
In terms of what you're drinking. In terms of what you're consuming.
in terms of what I'm consuming.
It
So
was the lime and water.
well, that's just a 7-day thing though.
Oh, okay.
And what that does is just resets your entire immune system.
Okay.
You want to go through it real quick?
Yeah, I think this
Okay.
is great.
Okay, so basically, I met a person, close friend of mine, and she caught me onto this thing. She goes, "This will reset your entire immune system," and I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." So basically, it's 3 limes, about 2 inches of ginger, 2 or 3 tablespoons of honey, water, and you mix it all together in a blender.
Raw honey.
Raw honey, skin and everything. Goes-
Wow. All right.
Yeah, it's a superpower lemonade, call it, right? Whatever
Okay.
you want to label it. So once you do that, you strain it and you drink the juice, and you have to adjust the flavor of that mix to your palate because it's super potent. I mean, it'll make you cry if you just drink it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to put water down a little bit, get it to a point where it's drinkable. So you're making kind of a lime lemonade. So not lemons, limes. Excuse me, I used the wrong term. So it's 3 limes, not 3 lemons. I was translating from Spanish. So
Okay. I'll do that as well.
So it's 3 limes, not three lemons. But you mix it, you blend it, you strain it, and you're left with the juice. That juice you drink for 7 days. It'll literally reset your entire immune system. You do it first thing in the morning. Try not to eat for 2 hours. Actually, you won't be able to. You won't be hungry. Your body's going to be completely infused with energy. and you'll go about
Great
your day.
tip. Wow.
So
So you've just done that for 7 days?
do it for 7 days, resets your entire immune system, and that was like miraculous. Literally, it was like what it did to my body. It was just
Yeah,
fantastic.
I remember you saying it just completely transformed your...
Besides, the high vitamin C cleans out your liver, detoxes your liver as well. So I'm sure that was part of the process too, where whatever toxins were in my liver were basically completely flushed out.
I think we don't realise how many toxins we ingest every day unknowingly, and it's like a consistent attack on your liver.
Yeah.
And there's stuff that we can't really avoid, but there's a lot of toxins that we take in unknowingly. So I think, a lot of us have heard about the, just having lemon and water, for example, starting off the day, but this is like going one step further, isn't it? And just, awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna get back to you with like 3 sources, 3 books you're gonna recommend for anyone with fibromyalgia. And your one piece of advice was sugar and alcohol if you've got candida, certainly, and fibromyalgia, cut it out until it's all balanced, and then maybe start to introduce.
Yeah. Once you start feeling better, you can do whatever you want, but you gotta
Reset.
Yeah. I mean, what's 45 days or 60 days of not doing something to be healthy the rest of your life? Right?
Exactly. I'm doing this whole life challenge right now, which is 8 weeks of hardcore paleo.
Yeah.
I mean, no kind of excuses. It's like no sugar, no carbs. I've decided no carbs because I'm doing ketosis. No sugar, no carbs, no alcohol, just meat, fish, eggs, just mostly vegetables, and doing other stuff like meditating and yoga and exercise and mobility exercises and all this kind of stuff. It's really cool for 8 weeks. Initially, I'm thinking, my God, 8 weeks, that's so long. And then I'm pretty much 2 weeks into it. And anyway, I hope that was useful, everyone. That's how to heal fibromyalgia. Do you have anything you want to offer people? Any kind of advice or coaching or anything?
I mean, we've got to change our diets. That's basically it. I mean, that's the biggest thing. The kill the feed that it killed me. We saved it. So I mean, it's just a matter of diet. And when you change it, I mean, I had literally had half a watermelon for breakfast the other day.
Okay, so you can eat the fruit again.
Yeah, I mean everything again. I had watermelons, avocado. I mean, and I was full the entire day. You don't get hungry. Your body, it adjusts.
Yeah,
it's and I enjoy it too. I'm not eating any. I don't feel lethargic after eating. I get a boost of energy that lasts me the entire day. It's kind of like I still have my coffee every once in a while just because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I don't drink coffee to stay awake or to really that's not my kicker. Okay. I just get it. When I feel a little bit, or just want to have a cup of coffee and just relax.
You get a bit jittery.
Yeah, exactly.
Questions. We've had a few questions. What if you can't get raw honey? Tina asks. So raw honey. What if you can't get raw honey? Would you just buy standard honey for this little mix?
Pretty much. You want to get organic honey though. That's one thing. You want to try and stay to the organic products, obviously, because obviously the bees go everywhere, right? So the bees don't know whether the products are GMO, whether the plants are poison or whatever it is. So what they do is that with organic honey, they come back and test it, make sure that there's not any toxins in the honey.
Okay.
So you're not
ingesting toxins.
Yeah, and you're doing it for a week. It's not like you have to buy honey for a year, right? So you're just buying a high quality type of honey for a week, making sure you have enough of it, and it's not going to go to waste later on. So it's always something you can reuse.
Awesome. And then there's Manuka honey as well, she just said.
Yeah, there's Manuka honey as well. Yeah, if you want to go to the really, really expensive side of things, that's the New Zealand honey, for those that are listening, and it's basically got a number of bacterial components that the honey has in it. I actually used it for a while. I don't know if it helped or not, to tell you the truth, because I was mixing it in with the lemon, with the lime, the ginger, and I actually used an entire jar of it for a week. But the jar's like $30.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So that's to the very extreme. You don't have to go to that extreme, but
Mark's asking what it's called. Beamer.
It's
and Nick's asked if that's a BMW. So yes, that is a BMW as well.
Yeah.
Beamer is BEMER.
It's actually Bemer, but in Europe they pronounce it Beamer because they don't know that the word Beamer in the U.S. means BMW. It's an acronym. So they call it Beamer over there, but over here when you say the word Beamer, everybody thinks you're talking about a car.
Right. Okay.
So in Europe they call it a Beamer, but it's actually spelled Bemer, BEMER.
I don't think a BMW would be quite as effective.
Yeah. It'll be fun, but I don't think it's going to take care of any circulation. Well, it might make your circulation worse.
It might do. It might get your blood spiking a bit.
Yeah.
Blood pressure.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any other questions? Who's still alive? Got 4 people still alive. Okay, well, I hope that's been valuable, people. Going to be sharing more stories soon of other people healing themselves through diet and nutrition. Nutrition, exercise, and psychology.
Excellent.
Cool. Thank you for listening. Tune in for the next one. Thanks. Share if you found useful. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Neil. Thanks, man.
Been awesome.
Thanks for putting me on the spot. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm so glad we sat so close to each other as well.
Exactly.
Talk soon.
Cheers.